Current lightweight champion Islam Makhachev is going to move up to the welterweight division to face Jack Della Maddalena.
He's so hard to beat. He's so good. He's a monster. When he gets guys on the ground, he just crushes them. And you could argue that he's dealing with a deeper talent pool.
Della versus Islam. How are we feeling about that?
I think Della is going to get it done. I feel Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there. Honestly believe him, because I just think he's not going to be able to hand with him on the scrambles, or when he gets back up. When he does that, I really think he's going to get him. And I can't wait till that happens, and wherever it is.
Jack is, like, he's a big guy too, right?
That fight would be great also.
You versus Jack?
Yeah, I would love to fight him.
I saw Khabib said that he thinks that Jack is a harder fighter for Islam than you.
But he's gonna say that's the fight they have ahead. They're not gonna say, no, we are fighting a easier opponent than Ilia. He has to say that. There's always respect.
Of course.
How you cannot respect like people who's fighting for their dreams and they work hard. But another thing is that when it comes to the competition, me against you, I'm always going to choose myself.
A highly anticipated clash between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena is set to headline UFC 322, as revealed by a leaked fight card. While Islam is determined to secure his second belt and make history, JDM is prepared to push himself to the limit to retain his welterweight title. Despite the buzz around Islam's elite grappling and submission skills, Jack remains confident, calling Makhachev too small to stand a chance against him. Backed by his size, power, and finishing ability, JDM dismissed any concerns about Islam's game and made it clear that if they share the cage, his plan is to overwhelm him without hesitation.
Your first defense is most likely against pound-for-pound #1 in the world, the lightweight champion Islam Makhachev. Talk me through about that particular matchup and what you're thinking and how excited you are to prove yourself yet again.
Yeah, it's the dream first title defense, pound-for-pound #1. Get him back to Volk. We saw what Volk did to him. I'm gonna get him. He's too little. I'm gonna get him.
With just a few months remaining until this high-stakes encounter, Islam Makhachev opened up about the unexpected challenges of moving up in weight. After years of cutting down to make the lightweight limit, gaining size hasn't come easy. Despite lifting heavier and sticking to a strict training regimen, he's only managed to add around 2 kilograms. Islam clarified that he's not looking to bulk up just by eating more. Instead, his focus is on building lean, functional muscle through disciplined training, aiming to stay strong and agile the right way.
Do you think he's going to be a hard fight for you? I know he said he wants to get one back for Alexander Volkanovski here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard fight. Honestly, it's gonna be. I saw his fight against Bilal. He's good, man. He is good. When he beginning fighting in UFC, he had problem with the wrestling, but now he's improved because I see he training a lot with the wrestlers, with the grapplers, and that's why he's a champion right now, and he's good everywhere. But we will see who is the best fighter in the world.
Yeah,
very soon. Yeah. And it's going very quick.
On the other hand, Robert Whittaker shared his thoughts on the potential clash between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena, admitting some personal bias, but still pointing out legitimate challenges for Islam. He compared the matchup to Makhachev's previous fight with Alexander Volkanovski, but emphasized that Jack is a bigger fighter and much harder to control. Whittaker praised Jack's underrated jiu-jitsu and sharp striking, particularly his body shots and uppercuts, which could disrupt Islam's takedown attempts. According to Whittaker, Jack's unique style and striking angles might present problems Islam has never encountered before.
I will try to be big, it's not easy, man. All my life I cut weight, but now when I want to be big, my weight stays same position, I try to lift more. We do some program and like slowly, we bring 2 kg right now, but I don't want to be big by food, eating and not training. I want to be with like muscles, I want to training and bring some muscle.
Dustin Poirier weighed in on the matchup, explaining why he believes Islam Makhachev is physically built. for the welterweight division. He described Islam as a naturally big and strong fighter who has the potential to thrive at a higher weight class. Poirier expressed interest in seeing how Islam handles someone like Jack Della Maddalena, emphasizing that the early exchanges, particularly how Jack responds to the takedown attempts, will be crucial in setting the tone for the entire fight.
Why does he beat Islam, in your opinion?
I'm biased as heck.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can see the fight playing out very much like it did with Volk, okay? But Jack's bigger. Jack's a little, he's a little bigger. He's got a different frame. He's a hard dude to try and hold down. And I think his jiu-jitsu is very underrated. He has good jiu-jitsu, which means it won't be free. The takedowns won't be free. Being on top of him won't be free. Not to mention, Jack has really good hands. And if he can keep it into that mid-range, into that distance that he likes, make it awkward. He's very good at not only punching straight lines, but punching up. So his hooks, his uppercuts, he mixes it really well. He works the body, which makes it harder to shoot on. You know, I think there's enough angles there to give Islam.
However, Luke Rockhold chose to focus more on the physical and stylistic adjustments awaiting Islam Makhachev as he moves up in weight to face Jack Della Maddalena. Rather than getting into detailed technical breakdowns, Rockhold emphasized that size and timing could play a far bigger role than many anticipate. While acknowledging Islam's elite grappling, he pointed out that Jack's ability to control, range, and remain composed under pressure could push Islam into unfamiliar territory. What intrigued Rockhold the most wasn't just the matchup itself, but how Islam's body, rhythm, and overall timing would adapt to the welterweight division, especially against a calm, precise striker like Jack.
Speaking of Islam, what's your thoughts on him moving up to welterweight?
He's a big guy. I think he's going to fill into that weight. He's a really big 155er. So I think his lifestyle outside of training camp is going to be a little more comfortable, and he'll fill into that weight class, no problem. He could be champion there for sure.
How do you think he does against JDM?
I think the beginning of the fight's going to tell the story, like how well JDM does at getting up, how well JDM does at keeping Islam off of his feet, off of his legs, off of the cage. It's tough to call that because JDM's a big guy, athletic. I'm excited about that. A lot of fun fights in the future.
Max Holloway also weighed in on Islam Makhachev's move to welterweight, expressing respect for Islam's well-rounded skill set, but cautioning fans not to underestimate Jack Della Maddalena. While Max believes Islam has what it takes to compete in the new division, he sees Jack as a dangerous dark horse, someone who could very well pull off an upset if the two end up meeting later this year.
Do you see him beating JDM to win that welterweight title?
It's a tough fight. That's a very tough fight. It's going to be interesting. You know, I think those are my three favorite fighters in the UFC right now. We go Islam, Topuria, and JDM. JDM's fun. He's fun to watch. So, I mean, that's going to be a great fight. You know, he's no slouch at wrestling, but you have a guy that's wrestled his whole life and grappled his whole life versus JDM. He's kind of like, he's secondary on that, but, you know, you never know. He's a bigger guy. So, you know, we'll see how Islam, how he bulks up and how he looks. He looks a lot bigger than what I remember. I used to train with him forever. So, I mean, he's definitely grown. You know, we'll see how he carries the weight.
UFC legend Daniel Cormier also shared his breakdown of the potential matchup between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena, pointing out that Jack's early striking pressure could pose a threat, but only if he manages to stay off the cage. Cormier emphasized that Islam doesn't rely on traditional wrestling. Instead, he uses slick trips, foot sweeps, and relentless control to systematically shut down his opponents. While he didn't offer a clear prediction, Cormier made one thing clear. Jack will be facing a very unique kind of pressure that few fighters are prepared to handle.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on Islam moving up to welterweight. And how do you think he's going to do out there?
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, you know, but people be sleeping on Jack, you know what I mean? And I think Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and I think people is going to find out when that match happens. I don't know. I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's going to be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack for I don't know what reason. They just keep counting him out. kind of reminds me of when I was like coming up and calling me out about certain fights. So, I mean, he is, you know, he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world right now, but he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world for a reason. So you got to respect that. But, you know, don't sleep on Jack. I think it's going to be a tough and fun.
Daniel Cormier also turned the spotlight on how Islam Makhachev's performances are often misinterpreted. He pointed out that fans and analysts tend to focus too heavily on brief moments of offense from Islam's opponents, rather than recognizing the consistent control and dominance he displays throughout entire rounds. Cormier emphasized that Islam's clean striking and strategic precision often go underappreciated due to misleading narratives. What excites him most now is Islam's move to welterweight, a division where the physical challenges and matchups will finally push him in ways the lightweight division never could.
JDM don't wrestle, but he was defending well, and he puts damage on you.
Off rip.
Starts putting damage on you, and he can box.
So how do you see that fight with him and Islam? Does he have the ability to beat a guy like Islam?
He'll get takedown attempts coming at him very early. This time. The last fight, he didn't have to deal with that when he was fresh. If Islam can start to pressure him early and take him down early, or even just make him wrestle, he might struggle. I don't know that he's ever felt anything like he's going to feel, because it's not going to be double legs and single leg with Islam. It's going to be him playing with his feet, tripping him, moving around on the octagon side, doing things that he don't recognize as freely.
But she didn't answer the question.
The problem is, like, I can only give you that because I can't truly make a prediction. The job doesn't allow.
Similarly, Joe Rogan analyzed Islam Makhachev's evolution as a fighter, highlighting how his striking has progressed from being underestimated to truly elite. He pointed to the head kick knockout over Volkanovski as clear evidence of how dangerous Islam has become on the feet. Rogan also raised concerns about the timing of that fight, suggesting that stepping in on short notice to face someone as sharp and well-prepared as Islam was a huge risk, even for a warrior as tough and skilled as Volkanovski.
Islam. He's a much better striker than people give him credit for. He won all the rounds against Dustin Poirier in a fight that was pretty much all striking. Everybody's like, wait, Dustin Poirier fought him so well, but he didn't. It was literally 5 rounds to 0 and he got submitted.
It's almost like Poirier got his licks, but he got dominated.
He got beat. Because Islam's been so good, people judge him differently. I think there are way more interesting fights for him at 170 because of the size difference than there is at 155. Because right now, when was the last time he had finished someone? He finished Charles for the belt.
Volk.
He fought Volk. That was close.
Him.
Didn't finish him, but the second
Finished
time
Volk.
he finished Volk.
Second time, finished Moicano.
Finished Moicano. Finished Dustin Poirier. He beats them all because they're too...
Arman. Tsarukyan also reflected on Islam Makhachev's evolution, noting that the fighter he sees today is far more complete than the version he faced years ago. He highlighted how Islam has developed greater patience inside the cage, manages his energy more efficiently, and integrates his skills with much more confidence and control. For Arman, it's not just the physical growth that stands out. It's the mental and technical maturity that now truly sets Islam apart from the rest.
He's a threat everywhere. Like when he knocked out Volk with that high kick.
Yeah,
and
that was
crazy. But granted, if I was in Volk's corner, I would say, no,
I know.
You're not taking it. You've been drinking beer and eating kebabs. Like, there's no way you're taking this fight on 10 days' notice. I don't care how confident you are. I don't care how much you like fighting. That's a crazy thing. I don't care how much money they're paying you. Because you look at the slide that his career took, right? He arguably won that first fight with Islam. Very close fight, loses a decision. Or was it a draw?
It was a decision. Was it?
Furthermore, Arman Tsarukyan shared his thoughts on a potential matchup between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, confidently stating that had they fought at UFC 317, Islam would have secured a knockout victory. While showing respect for Islam's dominance and skill set, Arman didn't shy away from making his own ambitions clear. He hinted at big plans ahead, making it known that his ultimate goal isn't just to compete, but to rise to the very top and claim the title of the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
How much better do you think Islam's gotten since your debut, where you fought him?
Yeah, he improved his striking, very good. His clinch, his cardio. He used to have bad cardio. His cardio way better. And his experience, of course, the most important.
Ilia Topuria recently secured a major victory over Charles Oliveira at UFC 317, claiming the #1 pound-for-pound spot and dethroning Islam Makhachev in the rankings. In response, Islam welcomed the idea of facing Ilia to settle the debate once and for all. While he acknowledged that the UFC might be pushing the narrative to generate hype, he didn't shy away from the challenge. Although Islam didn't fully agree with the build-up, he made it clear that the real answer will only come when they finally face off inside the octagon.
What do you think would have happened if Ilia fought Islam this weekend?
Islam Makhachev.
He would have beaten him?
By TKO.
Oh, wow. Really?
I mean, that's a different level of fighters.
You think so? Wow.
You can compare Ilia versus Islam.
Really? I have Ilia #1 pound for pound now.
Yes, because Islam not champion anymore right now.
Right.
But when he get the second title, he's gonna be pound for pound #1.
So you think he beats Jack?
He beats Jack.
Yeah.
Became a pound for pound #1. I'll be pound for pound #2 champion lightweight division, and then beat Islam and became a pound for pound #1.
Wow, I love it. You have it all.
Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria isn't slowing down. After capturing titles in 2 divisions, he's now setting his sights on a historic 3rd belt. Confident in his abilities and momentum, Topuria believes he can move up once again and claim a 3rd championship, a feat that would elevate his legacy to unprecedented heights in UFC history.
По поводу того, что тебя сместили внезапно с первой строчки pound for pound.
Ну, это маркетинг. Они делают это специально, чтобы разогреть этот бой. Ну, у людей уже есть интерес к этому. Значит, они делают правильно, и мы будем бороться за первое место в рейтинге.
Heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall has thrown his support behind Ilia Topuria's ambitious goal of claiming a 3rd UFC title. After already securing belts at 145 and 155, Aspinall believes Ilia has what it takes to succeed at welterweight as well. He described Topuria as tough, incredibly talented, and one of the rare fighters with the skill set and mindset to potentially become a 3-division champion, a feat few in the sport have ever come close to achieving.
And last one from me. Earlier today, Islam Makhachev did an interview and said he's not ruling out coming back down to 155. But if it was up to you, would you rather fight him at 170 to get that 3rd title, or would you be willing to fight him at 55 because that's the division that people say he might be the best at?
It would be much better for me to fight him in 170, and I will beat him and get the 3rd title. That will be the best scenario for me.
On the other hand, top lightweight contender Arman Tsarukyan has expressed growing frustration over being overlooked for a title shot. Eager to prove himself, Arman issued a bold $500,000 challenge to Ilia Topuria, confidently betting on his own victory in a future showdown. He stated he's ready to put the money on the line and expects Ilia to match it if he's truly serious. With unwavering confidence, Arman made it clear that he's prepared to settle everything face-to-face inside the octagon.
I can absolutely believe that Ilia Topuria can win 3 belts. I think that Ilia Topuria can beat anybody around those weights, kind of lightweight, welterweight. Ilia, in my opinion, is almost unbeatable.
Arman Tsarukyan didn't hold back in questioning Ilia Topuria's overall skill set, claiming that Ilia leans too heavily on his boxing and lacks the versatility needed to hang with the division's elite. Arman positioned himself as the more complete fighter, highlighting his diverse striking arsenal, strong wrestling, and high-level grappling as evidence that he brings a much broader and more dangerous toolkit into the cage compared to Topuria.
So no big bets from your own pockets?
No, I can put the bets. I can put like a $500,000 if he beat me. If I beat him, he's gonna give me $500,000. So I can put it that.
Okay, so he's willing to make handshake bets.
If he wants to make that, so I'm down, and we can shake hand fight. If I lose, I'll give him $500,000. If I beat him, he's gonna give me $500,000.
Arman Tsarukyan laid out his game plan for a potential fight against Ilia Topuria, explaining that the smartest approach would be to apply constant pressure and rely heavily on relentless wrestling. He believes Ilia struggles during extended grappling exchanges and has difficulty keeping pace in scrambles. Arman acknowledged the danger of trading strikes with Ilia, so his strategy would focus on disrupting Topuria's rhythm early and gradually wearing him down through control and pace.
You see the holes in Ilia's game because Ilia looks like most people, if you're just watching him now, you think he's a striker, but he came into MMA as a grappler. But what are the holes you see in his game? I'm curious.
I mean, he's a good striker. Not good striker, he's a good boxer. But I feel like myself, I'm a better like MMA fighter than him because I have more. I'm more skilled than him. I got good kicks, knees, you know, like wrestling setup, boxing with wrestling against the cage, grappling, everything. He has just good. He has good boxing and that.
However, Ilia Topuria firmly dismissed the idea of facing Arman Tsarukyan for the title, claiming that Arman hasn't earned a shot at the belt and even questioning his reliability to make it to fight night. Topuria didn't mince words, stating that he has no interest in that matchup whatsoever, going as far as to say he'd rather vacate the title than defend it against Arman.
I feel like you gotta just keep pressure him, take him down, make him tired because he gets out so fast with the wrestling. If you're just gonna stay and try to box him, it's not gonna work it because it's his pace, you know, and you gotta break it, you gotta make him tired. Like if you watch like fights where he wrestled, he got tired and so fast, and that's why we gotta make that scratch.
Ilia Topuria believes Arman Tsarukyan hasn't earned a title shot at this point. He pointed out that Arman was previously offered a championship opportunity but had to pull out, which, in Ilia's eyes, set him back. Until Arman secures another significant win, Topuria doesn't consider him a serious contender in the current title picture.
Listen, when you put so much effort in the game and you have a guy in front who you don't know that maybe he could pull out from the fight, that's not something good for us. It's not on my back, bro. I don't care. They're gonna give him a fight before the title shot because there is no way. I'm the world champion. I'm never gonna give him a chance to fight for the title. I will be like, listen, if that's the case, take my belt. I don't.
Former featherweight fighter Marcos D'Amata praised Arman Tsarukyan, calling him a serious threat to Ilia Topuria. While acknowledging Ilia's skills and toughness, D'Amata emphasized that Arman's well-rounded game and high fight IQ make him a unique challenge. He noted that although Arman entered the UFC primarily as a grappler, he has since evolved into a dangerous striker, making him arguably the most complete opponent Ilia would have faced.
I would think maybe a guy like Arman Tsarukyan. I know full focus on Charles Oliveira, and you see a guy like him as a future opponent, maybe the next one after Charles.
Arman, he needs to win also a fight. He had his opportunity to fight for the title. He pulled out for I don't know for what reasons. So he needs to put his name again in the conversation.
Marcos D'Amata suggested that the UFC might delay booking Arman Tsarukyan versus Ilia Topuria to protect the potential super fight between Ilia and Islam Makhachev. He proposed that Ilia could face someone like Paddy Pimblett next, while Islam moves forward with a bout against Jack Della Maddalena. If both Ilia and Islam come out victorious, it would pave the way for a blockbuster showdown, with Arman likely needing one more convincing win to re-enter title contention.
In my opinion, in my heart, I think Arman can make it very hard for Ilia. You know, I think he can beat Ilia. I think he will beat Ilia. You know, oh, you train Arman, of course, yeah. But I believe in Arman. I think he has the ability, the tools, you know, to beat a guy like Ilia. Oh, he's a very heavy-handed guy. Unbelievable guy. Ilia is a great champion. All the abilities that Ilia has is amazing. He was hired by the UFC because of his grappling. And then all of a sudden, he started knocking people out. Mm-hmm. You know, so no, we respect Ilia's grappling. But I think Arman's a different level. You know, I think Arman has the ability. He's better than Charles. He's better than all these guys that Ilia fought.
Arman Tsarukyan shared that if he doesn't get a title, Shot next, he expects to be matched up against Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett, or Dan Hooker. He views all three as favorable matchups, referring to them as easy money, though he did acknowledge Gaethje's power and solid wrestling background.
Let's say they put Arma now with Ilia. Then the big super fight, Ilia Islam, is off, and he beats Ilia, and that's super fight. So I'm not sure, maybe they're going to put Pimblett to fight Ilia or somebody else to fight Ilia to get a good win. Wait until Islam fights Jack. See what happens. Hopefully they both win. There's your big super fight of the year next year, And in the meantime, Arma needs to fight maybe one more time, to cement himself as the #1 contender. That's what we got to do. Whatever,
Tell us more about how you see a matchup with Topuria playing out.
I'm just take him down and hold him and just maul him, and I just finish him on the ground. He's not gonna able to escape from me.
The wrestling and the takedowns are the key then.
Yeah, and my kicks, my wrestling, my ground and pound, and my strengths. Boxing, he's good on one thing, on the boxing, but me, wrestling, kicks, ground and pound, and like a control time.
So the more well-rounded fighter you believe is
I mean,
yourself.
4 versus 1, who's gonna win? I mean,
sure.
If you're not gonna stay on his boxing distance, how he's gonna beat you? I don't know.
Where do you see? Obviously, ideally, you fight for the belt next. But if that doesn't happen, how do you see the chips falling? What's the most probable outcome? Do you think they're gonna offer you next?
I mean, if it's not title fight, it's probably Gaethje.
Yeah.
Or Pimblett or Hooker. I don't know.
How do you see the fight going with Gaethje? Like, how do you match up against everybody? Yeah, go ahead.
With Gaethje, it's a good fight. He's a good striker, but he used to be wrestler, so now he strikes more. But I mean, it's good fight for me. All of them is good fight for me. So
that wraps up today's video. Let us know what you think about this potential matchup in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more updates on the biggest UFC showdowns headed your way.